Hey!
This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself, I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Tuesday to you. Thanks for being with us on the program. Glad to get a full show under the belt today. Excited about that.
I'm a little out of shape here. I haven't done a full show in a while.
Yeah, yesterday was weird. I hate those, especially on a Monday. You have a short show. We just have so many things we wanted to get to.
We got 4 hours today. I'm going to be exhausted by the time we're done today. I'm going to
JJ's
need a shower after the show.
JJ's in his TV uniform.
Yep. Company guy.
There you go. So we're all excited here because there's a lot to talk about, and there's tons to jump into. And we do have fun at the expense of our producer, Alex Napolis, because of how young he is.
He deserves a bonus for putting up with us.
So when we were having a pre-show conversation about He-Man and Skeletor and Jem, whether or not she was truly, truly outrageous or not, he didn't know what to say, and I felt bad for him because we grew up in an era, JJ, of pure cartoon magicalness, and it was a simpler time. Now the kids are entertaining themselves scrolling on the reels.
They don't make toys like they used to.
I think they do, but no one buys them.
Napolis is confused. He's born in 1999. He has no idea what we're talking
What
about.
toy are you talking about? This is the iPhone. That's it. That's the only toy anybody needs.
Dude,
all right?
you would have loved the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier if you were our age.
Listen, Teddy Ruxpin
That was the pinnacle of toys.
Teddy Ruxpin was a
late
possessed
80s.
animal that taught us everything from science to music.
Teddy Ruxpin could talk.
Yeah, his mouth moved. Like, really moved. That's what they said in the commercial. His mouth really moves. Hey,
It blew our minds when we were kids.
We're gonna keep our mouths moving, by the way, for the next 3 hours, and we're gonna move right past any of the conversation about He-Man.
We really don't want to dig into the relationship between He-Man and She-Ra, Princess of Power.
I found out that Skeletor was the uncle of He-Man.
That just totally messes with my mind.
Yeah, but it makes sense when you think about all the other universes of things. It's not fun unless they're closely related. All right, everybody's got an aunt or an uncle who are Skeletor. All right, you know who you are. All right, let's kick the show off. We got things to get to. Man, JJ, did you predict yesterday that the Jazz were going to win?
Okay,
or were you saying
we can't. Well, we can't move on. We can't. I'm not letting this go.
Why?
Because I found the
you
answer.
found something out.
We're gonna.
You
before
didn't
we get
Google
to the
He-Man,
Jazz. Okay, He-Man and She-Ra.
Yeah.
What do you think the relationship is?
Step siblings?
No.
Okay. Cousins. She's Skeletor's daughter. What is it?
No.
What is it?
Twin siblings,
they're
separated
twins.
at infancy.
Oh, okay. Well,
There's
so
the backstory.
There you go. Yeah.
So, for all of you He-Man folks out there, Hans is driving right now. He's yelling at us. I knew that. 'Cause Hans has the whole collection.
Yeah, but Skeletor being the uncle of He-Man blew my mind.
That is really mind bending. So now we know.
Now we can
move on. We got that out of our system.
Did we?
You were asking me about the Jazz.
Yeah, I was. Well, let's kick off the show officially here. Then we can wash ourselves of the sins of talking about cartoons from the 80s. Let's get to it. It's a cut. Top of the program. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, this portion of the show brought to you by JJ and I. All right, so here you go. Lots to talk about. The biggest thing for me, as I wanted to quickly go over the Jazz thing. We're not talking about the Jazz yet, totally, but did you predict that they were going to win, or did you just say they were going to have a big bounce back? I think all of us knew there was going to be some.
I didn't think they were going to win that game. No, I did expect them to play much better. With Lowry back, with Yusuf Nurkic back, a full lineup, and sure enough, they come out and they start 21-4. The Cavs go on a run; they take an 8-point lead, but the Jazz in the second half battled. And I'm telling you, when the Jazz are full strength, it's a good team. Not a great team, not quite yet a playoff team.
Yeah,
But if they wanted to go all in on the play-in, they could definitely give themselves a shot. They're that good. And they proved it yesterday against a Cavaliers team that's pretty desperate to win games right now.
They're a 13.5-point dogs, by the way, the Jazz going into that game. They won
13.5?
Yeah, 13.5.
They won by 10.
They won by 11.
They
won by 11, yeah. And by the way, we said it too. There was going to be a moment where Keontae George is going to feel a lot more comfortable because Lauri Markkanen is on the floor.
Sure enough.
How did it go? 28 points and 12 rebounds for Lauri, 32 points, 9 assists for Keontae. He's turning into something special. And Donovan Mitchell, he brought it up after the game, which we'll get to also.
They combined for 60 points, and they both nearly had double-doubles. That's a good pairing. And if you just add one more big name to the mix in the lottery, A.J. Debonsa, then I think the Jazz would be really ready to take off next year with a healthy Walker Kessler and some cap space and some room to move. I like a lot of the young players on the team. They can have a lot of depth. Future's bright.
What you do is you try to get A.J. Debonsa, second, third pick maybe. Because I'm seeing a lot of the mock drafts.
Well,
and
apparently the Kings like him, so forget about it. The Kings are going to get him.
I know, and if they're the number 2, then there you go.
Report, by the way.
Yeah, but
everybody likes A.J. Debonsa.
I know. Just do this. You get A.J., and then you get like a second-round pick. You pick Rob Wright III, and then like your undrafted free agent signing, Richie Saunders. Those guys are good for 80 points a night. Those three.
You're not going to get Richie as an undrafted free agent.
It's not maybe. I didn't want to give him any.
Richie's a second-round pick. Maybe sneaks into the first round with some good workouts.
All right, we'll see. Okay. It helps having the guys next to him that he does.
100%.
Get that attention.
A lot of good film.
Speaking of good film, Devon Dampier gave us a bowl game that basically put an exclamation point on a tremendous first season for the University of Utah. 330-something in the passing yards category, 148 on the ground. Not a bad day for a guy who now officially has announced he's going to come back to Utah for the 2026 season. We were waiting to see when it was going to happen. We were waiting to see when it was going to be official. Bird Ficklin had to come out like 2 or 3 times to say he's officially coming back. And I honestly think that this one was the third one because then it was like when Devon Dampier comes out and says finally, okay, yeah, he's announced his return to the University of Utah for the 2026 season. We all knew that this was probably going to be the case, but now that it's locked up, your thoughts on where Utah sits right now compared to with how they did this year in the Big 12?
Well, I'm glad that Devon took the time and made sure that his video was fully produced before he made his announcement.
Boy, yeah. You talk about how much the kids have changed these days, yes.
But no, I'm joking. It's great news for Utah, and Utah needs good news right now. You get on social media today and you start getting into Utah Twitter, and it's a dark place right now. There's a lot of anger and frustration with the departure of Kyle Whittingham, and I'm using air quotes, the poaching and stuff going on. And there's a lot of angry Utah fans that are upset about the way this has all played out and frustrated and worried about what the future looks like. Well, now you've got 2 proven quarterbacks coming back, proven playmakers, not just 1, but 2. When's the last time you had 2 quarterbacks at Utah? You're like, I love that guy. I trust that guy. We're good. This is as good as the quarterback room at Utah's felt in quite some time. And Utah fans should be really excited about that. We didn't see Devon Dampier at 100% for most of the season this year. You saw him at 100% in the bowl game, and he was dynamic, and he was awesome. And now you know what Bird Ficklin can do as well, and they're going to find ways to do that. I'm really interested, Alex, to see what Kevin McGibbon can do with these 2 quarterbacks because he's got to get them both on the field a lot. And obviously Devon Dampier as a senior is going to be your starter, but they got to get Bird 15 snaps, 20 snaps. I don't know what it is, but you got to figure out a way to get him on the field and do everything else you want to do. And I think that they have the creativity to do that. But for Utah, this is not just important for what they're doing next year, but it comes at an important time when the fan base needed a lift. The fan base needed something today to get excited about, to feel good about, and for a moment make them forget about the transfer portal losses and the assistant coach losses. I mean, Celeste Moa was the discussion in the last 24 hours.
Right.
A kid that was at Fremont High School signs, enrolls in school, and what is it, a week into the quarter, and he's already in the transfer portal, and he's headed to Michigan.
Yeah, that's what they say, and I'm assuming that would have been the case. But it is interesting because, boy, what a weird recruiting situation that was.
This is the new world.
It is.
Who offers me the most money is where these kids are going to end up going. And there's no judgment there on my part. This is business. And I think it's hard for a lot of fans, especially fans at our age or older, to wrap their head around this. This is not what college sports was for a long, long time. This is not the college sports that a lot of people our age fell in love with. But this is the new world of college football. And we were chatting before the show, in our group, and Sly was saying things, and you shared something about some media guy complaining about Indiana being old.
Oh yeah, did you? I mean, did you see it? First of all, it was crazy because
I know that guy that you're talking about. He's not very good, and he's wrong a lot. He says things that aren't even factually correct. I don't want to get into that, but this premise that something's wrong with Indiana and it's not fair that they're old, and
it was also like it's not fair that they basically gamed the system, and I'm like the system that, by the way, was set up by other people.
You don't think Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State and you don't think all these schools traditionally over time, Oklahoma and Nebraska, were gaming the system?
But they didn't do it well. That was the whole thing. Like, okay, you have the chance to game the system, and you didn't do it well enough. And you say game the system. How about just doing it inside the rules, which they previously had not done?
How many 4- and 5-star guys does Indiana have on their roster?
8.
Okay, so the other schools have the talent, more talent than Indiana. Why is Indiana dominating them? Why did Indiana boat race Oregon like that? Why did Indiana crush Alabama the way they did? Because they're old? Because they've figured out a way to game the system? They don't have the 4- and 5-star talent.
Right.
So what's going on here? What's going on? Explain that to me then.
I don't really know where at some point we decided that that you start to see people going after programs that, because what Texas Tech has done is commendable and amazing and crazy that they did it. Or it's cheating, right? It's one of those things.
Right.
No, it's amazing. They found some people who were excited about being a part of this thing. They had a guy who showed up and said, this check is blank. How do we do this? And they did it, but they also had to develop it. They also have a great coach. They have all the things in place. And then that is amazing. Texas Tech has no place in the SEC and in Big Ten world. Okay, which the SEC actually has no business in Big Ten world either right now.
Not right now.
And isn't this what we've been begging for? That we didn't have just these power conferences? Because what do you get when you have a power? Like, we're the best and we're the most important power conference. You get their dumb
SEC every year, and it just means more.
No, and you get their dumb commissioner, who has fake power over the rest of college football and goes, oh, yeah, we're not doing that. Hey, we'll sign off on the college football playoff, how it's going to be from here on out. Why do you get to say? Your conference sucks right now. You guys are bad, and you can't be the person that we go to and go, is this okay? Is this okay, Greg Sankey? Can we do this for you? No. The Big Ten is pulling all the strings. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but this is going to come down to a very awkward, ego-driven conversation between all the conference commissioners when they try to extend the college football playoff to 16 teams, and then the Big Ten and so many other conferences want to go even further. They want to get more. They want to get a 24-team playoff, which Alex Napolis does not want. What's your problem with the 24-team playoff? Stop it. Too much football?
Oh, you need to sit down and watch the FCS playoffs.
Too many teams? We put 68 in the NCAA tournament.
Cap it at 16, man.
Okay. Cap it at 16. The problem is that you're going to get – you expand when you don't feel like the big powers have gotten enough teams in.
When Notre Dame doesn't get an invitation to the party, they have to expand.
Of course. And they're going to get in anyway.
When the SEC doesn't get enough of their teams in, they have to expand.
Yeah.
We all know how this was played. So that's – you know what? You know who would benefit by that? BYU and Utah. Utah and BYU would both be in a 16-team playoff this year.
By the way, BYU is a team who is either cheating or doing well with the system. And I think everybody who's watching this on the outside in, guess what? All the teams that are getting their butts kicked by BYU's basketball team, they go, yeah, they cheated. Look what they did to get these guys to come in here. It's like, no. $15 million rosters for basketball teams is a real thing across the country. BYU's $10 million roster, or whatever it is.
Kentucky spent more on their roster than BYU.
Of course. But again, and guess what they're doing? Not winning.
Right.
And guess what teams like BYU are doing? Or with Utah, when they were able to sign up Devon Dampier and Bird Ficklin, which I assume is that's not a cheap
No.
That's not an inexpensive go into this world of college football and getting players that you want. To get both of those guys back, that's a lot of money. And they spent it, and it was well spent. And you know what it was? Probably the best thing that happened to the beginning of Morgan Scalley's coaching, that he's getting Bird Ficklin and Devon Dampier year one for him as a head coach of the University of Utah. Massive.
If you're going to be successful, you've got to know who your QBs are. And I mean that plural, too. You've got to have a quarterback room that you can count on and trust. I have no idea who Indiana's backup quarterback is.
It's actually the other Mendoza. Did you know that?
Okay, there you go. And you know what? I bet that Cignetti trusts him. Otherwise, he would have got a guy there that he would trust. You look around some of the best teams in college football, they had a backup. I mean, Trinidad Chambliss was a backup, right? And he got thrust into a starting role, and he ran with it. So the best teams in college football not only have a good starter, they have depth there. Right. And now Utah has that for the first time, honestly, in quite some time, where you feel good about it. If you're Morgan Scalley and you're Utah moving forward, you know now who your guys are at that position, both next year and beyond. Now, I know things can change year to year. I get that in college football. But the odds of Bird Ficklin bailing after next season are much lower now because they're taking care of him and they're making sure he knows that he's their future. And so knowing who your guys are at that quarterback position for next year and beyond is a massive deal for Utah to be able to build around those guys. And it's going to take them a minute offensively next year because you have to replace your entire offensive line. Jordan Gross has his work cut out for him because Jim Harding did a great job at Utah, and they just benefited from a lot of that work, and they had an All-American Outland Trophy winner on one side and a first-round draft pick on the other, and some really good guys in the middle. Really good offensive line, probably the best in the country, honestly. Mm-hmm. They proved that throughout the year. They had one game where they got outmatched, and we know who that was against.
Did you want to see a picture of Alberto Mendoza? It sounds like it's made up, by the way, and he's number 16 and his brother's number 15, and they look the exact same. He came in a couple times in relief of
twins.
He's the middle brother of the three brothers, which, by the way, Mario Cristobal had a good inside shot at getting those guys because they have this Cuban-American
so I brought it up,
tie. Right.
And that's an interesting wrinkle to this game this week is I think Fernando Mendoza is the first Cuban-American to win a Heisman Trophy, and there's a lot of people in South Florida that are very proud of that. Do you root for the Indiana quarterback who's the Cuban-American, or do you root for your hometown Miami Hurricanes? There's a lot of interesting things going on there with that game, which is probably why it's going to cost $5,000 to get into the stadium.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I've never seen tickets like that for a big outside of the Super Bowl. Of
I know,
course. Maybe a Final Four, but not even that.
I'm so sad about the ticket situation.
Well,
you know why? Because college football is there now, right? And the reason I sent you that article today was it wasn't even the tickets to get in the game are insane and stupid. Okay, it's $4,000 right now for the least expensive ticket.
$4,000 for one ticket seat
to get in. But the reason I sent it to you is because the parking passes are going for $800.
$800 to park,
and I was like, this is terrible for the sport. We're going to get it way too out of control. And by the way, guess who's paying the $5,000 to get into the game and then another $1,000 to park? It's the same people that go to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're actually that big of fans.
No, they're not.
And
think of how big of a party that would be for Miami, for your average fan to be able to get into that game and cheering your team in a national championship at home.
If you're an Indiana fan and you take out that mortgage, that second mortgage to go to the game, do it.
Well, based on their attendance at the
they did. I mean, they showed up big time
at the bowl game.
Now, but this is a home game for Miami, which is weird. But hey, I'm telling you, take out that second mortgage because you don't know when you're ever going to be able to do this again. I know Curt Cignetti's on the rise here. He's won Coach of the Year last 2 years in a row. But I don't know how long this can last. And so spend the money for you. But if you're an Alabama fan, like you go, I'll get there next year. This is what we're going to see every year, by the way, now. This is going to set the standard for secondary ticket sales. It's going to be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 the week of, and it's going to be $1,000 to park, and this is a freaking college football game.
It's time to accept the reality that college football is not amateur. College football is professional sports. It is professional football. It is minor league football. when you're charging that much to get into your championship game, that's approaching Super Bowl level.
Yeah.
That's a massive event.
The only bad part of that comparison
when players
is,
are getting 7-figure salaries, you're a pro league.
The only bad part of that comparison is minor league baseball players don't get paid, man. Like the college football players are even more professional than the minor league baseball
players. Well, what are
players.
players getting paid? What is it? They have the United Football League now. What is the
XFL and the XFL
they
and
combined force?
Yeah,
USFL and XFL combined. I think it's called the United Football League. I mean, those guys play like 3 months out of the year. They're probably making $25K. And here we are. These college football players, like 18, 19-year-old kids, are getting 6 figures as a freshman.
Why don't you ask ChatGPT how much the UFL players are getting? I'm curious too. There's no way it goes above the like $250,000. There's no way.
Oh, there isn't.
Like maybe a couple people.
I bet not.
Okay. Well, what'd you come up with?
Told you.
Hey, thank you for your service.
You want to try to get in the league?
Oh man,
you're right.
Jeez,
I mean, that's guys that have already gone through college, maybe had a cup of Joe in the NFL, and now they're fighting to get back. And they're watching these kids that are unproven. Many of them have done hardly anything, getting dropped big checks because they've got 200,000 Instagram followers and they were a 4-star recruit. But are they proven? We live in this world now. And now you have the transfer portal, and you have all these guys bouncing around. 10,000 players in the transfer portal. How many of those 10,000 players in the transfer portal are either going to find a better place or no place at all? A lot of broken hearts. We're not hearing those stories and talking about those stories. We just see the teams flashing all these recruits that they signed, and Utah, man, am I, and all in down at BYU. But there's all these other kids that have jumped in the portal, and you're going to see more stories of these young men who jumped in the portal and young women in other sports as well that come away very disappointed in this whole process, and they get left behind. And now you see this whole ripple effect of high school kids who would have been good enough to play D1 10 years ago are not even getting looks because these D1 schools can't afford to bring in high school kids and develop them.
No, I get it.
They got to go out in the portal and get kids now. So it's all the world has changed. This all has changed.
How did we turn this into a bickering session? It just started with us celebrating that Devon Dampier's coming back. Come on. Supposed to be excited about that.
Well,
okay.
do you want to talk about how upset Utah fans are at Kyle Whittingham right now?
Oh,
because that's all I'm seeing on social media.
Yeah, they are upset at him, and he should be upset.
I
at
feel
Utah.
like that meme of the guy that walks in with the pizza and the room's on fire, and then he walks and turns around and walks right back out. Like, I'm not getting involved in that.
No, I mean, where do you fault Kyle Whittingham in all this? By the way, I think people need to start firing off their mad emails at the athletic department. Like, that wasn't handled well, right?
Well, was it handled perfectly by Kyle Whittingham?
He went full Aaron Rodgers on everybody and just was like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to walk out of here. I'm going to make my choices. See you later. Oh, you think I'm done? No, I'm not done. I'm going to keep coming back.
A little Wolf of Wall Street there, right? I'm not done yet.
That's what the comparison was, right?
Mark Carlin and Morgan Scally are sitting like, you're not done yet.
Oh my gosh.
Here we are. And you know, it's been a weird month for Utah fans. And so I don't want to be negative, and we went on a tangent of what's wrong with college football right now, where it's going, but to turn it back to Utah, celebrate the fact that Devon Dampier made his announcement today. There is some positivity there, and Morgan Scally and that program are doing some great things. They're bringing in a lot of transfer portal guys that they like. Let's see what they can do. But you know you got a quarterback that can make plays. You know you got 2 quarterbacks that can make plays. So Utah fans should be feeling really good about that today.
I think that the biggest thing you could take away from this is massive win for Morgan Scally.
Yes.
And massive win for this entire program, because bringing those 2 guys back, they're both probably starting on multiple teams in the Big 12. And they're on one team, and they're going to be absolutely – if you thought they're good this year, watch out. Okay? And just because Jason Beck left, I think McGivn's going to be able to do the same. He's going to be able to dial these guys in.
Yep.
He's experienced. He knows what he's doing. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go around the corner when we come back. We've got ourselves a Jazz Ticket Tuesday to get you some tickets around the corner. You've got all sorts of things to jump into here. But I do want to talk about this 16-team playoff deal because I think that this is interesting, and we'll see how this one goes. Stay right here with us, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, you know what that music means? Some breaking news straight from the NCAA transfer portal breaking news desk. Jeremiah Jensen has something for us. JJ, what are you reporting on?
Hayes Fawcett of On3 Sports reporting that Utah standout transfer cornerback Smith Snowden has committed to Michigan.
Any surprises there?
Smith Snowden headed to Michigan. Surprises?
We were just talking. No. We were just talking about how. Yeah, I mean the transfer portal giveth and taketh away.
And another thing for Utah fans to be upset about. Another Utah player going from Utah to Michigan.
Well, and John Henry Daly was a big name.
J.G. Buchanan.
J.G. Buchanan was a big
really
name
impressive
on the rise.
freshman.
Smith Snowden is, I think, the even bigger name out of all those people. I think John Henry Daly had a massive year where he was thrust into the national spotlight,
yes.
Became an All-American. Smith Snowden is bona fide, 4-star recruit. He knows. I mean, look.
Yeah. Made a lot of plays for the Utes.
It would be so tempting, not just from the money standpoint. I would assume that maybe they offered more money. It's freaking Michigan, okay?
Right.
But, man, getting attention is so important to be able to get yourself into the NFL. Does Utah not get that attention? No. It's just that people are going to have eyes on that Michigan team more than they ever have this year. I mean, more than they've had even in the most recent years with the Jim Harbaugh stuff. And the reason is because everybody's going to see if Kyle Whittingham can right a ship that on the football field is kind of okay. Off the field's a disaster of an athletic department. And everybody's going to be watching. And Smith Snowden, I mean, it's hard. I don't like Michigan at all. When I was a kid and NBC would have Notre Dame on and they'd be playing Michigan. Every other year it felt like they were playing Michigan.
You're a Pac-10 guy.
That's true. I did watch Michigan and Washington in a handful of Rose Bowls.
You looked at the Big Ten in a different way.
Yeah, and I didn't really love Michigan, but you think I wouldn't want my kid in some maize and blue? I mean, if they had the chance.
With
your
the
coach, with your head coach that you've had your entire time, the guy who recruited you, all that stuff. And I know that Morgan Scalley was a defensive coordinator too, but you're going to a place, you're going to get more money, more eyeballs are going to be on you. You can do bigger things against bigger teams. Say what you will about the Big Ten and where it compares to everybody else, but that's the league you can turn a lot of heads in. More than you can even at Utah or BYU or in the Big 12, who still is having to prove themselves. We've said it before. You got to be 30% better than everybody else if you're playing at Utah to be able to get to the NFL to that degree. Now, the good news is they've been, I say Utah, I mean BYU also. BYU probably has to do more because Utah is kind of that proven. They've got more guys in the NFL over the past.
Well, there's a stigma about BYU players that they're old. And
what are they, Indiana old though?
No, not even close. For a long time, the NFL looked down on, college prospects that were old because they didn't think they had as much upside.
Taysom Hill, it was the big knock on him basically the entirety of his career.
Dennis Pitta and Austin Collie went much later than they should have in the drafts because they were older players that served missions. So what I'm saying is Smith Snowden going to Michigan, it's not a shock. That's a big hit, though. You just lose a lot of talent on your defense. Well, and then obviously in the last 24 hours, the top-ranked high school football player in the state of Utah, who had already signed and enrolled at Utah, Celeste Moa, entered the transfer portal. A player who has not even gone to a practice yet, entering the transfer portal. Yeah. And I think that was kind of the sense I got from a lot of fans out there. Like, that was it. That was a breaking point. I've had enough. And they're blaming Kyle Whittingham for it. And you're fair, and you're free to do that. As a Utah fan, you can blame. There's information out there. You can make a decision about what you believe and what you know is true. I'm not here. You can feel however you want to feel. You can be mad at Kyle Whittingham all you want. Because this is a competition. This is sports. And if people don't understand that, trust me, Kyle Whittingham understands it. This is all about competing. He's having these players come to Michigan because he wants to win. He's under a tremendous amount of pressure to win at Michigan. If this fails, he fails. He needs to bring people there, both players and coaches, that are going to help him succeed, and that's exactly what he's doing. Is it hurting Utah? That's debatable and remains to be seen about the damage that's being done to Utah's roster, and obviously it caused a lot of turnover on the coaching staff. Time will tell whether Morgan Scalley hired the right replacements. Time will tell if these players leaving Utah and going to Michigan do better there. I'm skeptical, to be honest with you. Or if Morgan Scalley and his staff have been able to find the proper replacements for these guys that are leaving and going to Michigan. Like if John Henry Daly and J.J. Buchanan and Smith Snowden and Celeste Moa go to Michigan, blow up, and are awesome and help Michigan win a national title, it's going to be pretty tough for Utah fans to watch that. If it goes the other direction, Utah fans will be like, see, told you so. You should have stayed.
What you may not have heard over the last few days, everybody's focusing so much on the college football playoff, how many teams are going to be in the playoff in the future.
Yeah.
And we differ on some things here. I like the idea of 24 just because I'm fine with extra football. I do think it does get to be much, but you know what they need to do? I mean, half of December is just worthless in college football or more because bowl games that don't matter, teams that are just sitting around waiting to play those bowl games, during that time you could get a lot done. And you could still be able to get the national championship done by January 1.
Agree with that. I agree 100%.
I hope they try to figure that out. Maybe it's a bridge too far on the 2014.
We don't need college football on January 21st.
But I like what Dan Lanning has said before, which is, hey, I think we go a couple rounds in the college football playoff with the higher seed hosting.
Agree.
And he goes, I mean, when they were about to play Texas Tech, he goes, I think we should be playing them in Lubbock.
The campus games are awesome.
And they're amazing. And it brings it here's what it does too. It brings more revenue to the school, and they deserve it. And these are schools that, by the way, they're going to get some chunk of money paid to them anyway, but it's split up among their conference, unless you're Notre Dame. And I think that that's one thing I wish that they would figure something out with that. Play a couple games. But that being said, the college football coaches, this one's flying under the radar because all the bickering is going back and forth, and they've got to decide in 10 days if they're going to go to a more than 12-team playoff format. And they're bickering between the two biggest conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC. This one flew under the radar, and I had no idea it was even a thing yet. College football coaches have now voted unanimously to alter the eligibility rules of expanding redshirt seasons for their players. Shocked that they wanted to expand it for more of those coaches being able to get guys longer. So the 4 games they get, which doesn't count against their redshirt, they have voted unanimously to move it to 9 games.
Why 9?
Make it 12. Make it a full freaking season.
Why aren't they?
I don't know where 9 comes from. Like, is that really the thing? We're like, well, you're going to play 9 games, son.
Help me understand this.
I don't know.
There's no
know.
logic to this.
I don't know, but they're going to move it to 9, and now they're going to wait for the NCAA Division I committee. Who cares what they say? Anyway, because they're going to vote this thing through. 9 games for a redshirt season to stick around. Let's just get it over with. Let's just pull off that Band-Aid.
Give them 5 years.
Give them 5 years. That's what the direction we're going anyway.
That's 3 games short of a regular season. That's it.
I know.
Just let them play a 5th year.
Well, but also, by the way, they could play in the 9 games and they could play in the bowl game. Because that one doesn't count either.
And the conference championship games do not count for eligibility.
So they can play in 11 games. What are they missing on the other 2 games?
11 out of 14?
Well, and that's if they don't go to like a national championship or national semifinal, all those things. So they could play in 13 games in a season, and they had to sit out 2 to keep that red shirt. Come on.
Technically 3.
Technically 3, I guess, yeah. But come on. And guess who they're sitting out against? Pick the ones. I'm going to sit out against the Citadel. I'm going to sit out against Mississippi State. I'm going to sit out against, Bowling Green that we got at the front end. Can you pick which games? Can you just say, oh, yeah? You could. So just do the full.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of strategy
Just
that goes
do your
into
full non-conference schedule.
juggling. It'd be like the NFL where they have active and inactive players.
Just do your full.
Here's a list of 6 guys that are inactive for this game.
Yeah. Just
Again,
do it.
This sounds like pro football. College football is becoming more and more pro in every way at the highest level.
And here's the other thing is even if they don't get it, like then they put in some hardship thing and the NCAA kind of goes, no, you can't. No, you can, though.
Well, they're
You
so
over here
afraid
can.
to get it sued that they're basically.
I know.
That's why I was shocked when Trinidad Chambliss didn't win
Didn't get a
his
6th year.
Didn't get his
Yeah.
6th year, and that's still up in the air. He's going to appeal it,
yeah.
and he's going to get a lawyer, and he's going to go full Diego Pavia, and he's going to get that year.
Diego Pavia. Talking about guys who are too old. How's Diego Pavia, by the way? 23? I mean, he was at, I don't know. He was at Eastern New Mexico State. What was he at? The military academy? New Mexico
Military Academy.
So he's 23. He'll be 24 next month.
He'll be 24 next month.
Like,
Where'd he serve his mission?
I know. This is what I'm saying. How long? It was funny when coaches were making fun of BYU for so many years, and they finally, all it was just jealousy. They want to get 24-year-olds themselves. I mean, this guy, full on. Pavia should be playing at BYU, man. Come on. All right. But yeah, going into the draft pool, when he's drafted, he'll be 24. So
Fernando Mendoza turns 23 this year, and he's still got eligibility.
See?
These guys are older.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't you be? You can make a lot of money playing big time Power 4 college football.
If you're gonna do it right, if you're gonna complain right, you got to do it with a Southern accent. I mean, they got these mature guys. Some of them have families, 2-3 kids.
We got 15-year-olds here at Alabama that are sophomores.
You know, I don't know what to tell them. They have full-fledged insurance. They got life insurance, and they got a full family to feed. And my kids are coming in. They're 18. They barely know the game. I love hearing
They're
that
playing their Fortnite.
All right. I've got tickets to give away. So if Utah fan, if you're grumpy out there that you just heard that Smith Snowden's transferring to Michigan, do you feel more slighted by Kyle Whittingham stealing him away or Smith Snowden going there? But I have a way for you to be able to get over it. I've got some tickets. A Jazz Ticket Tuesday right now, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-9663. Get yourself a pair of tickets to see the Utah Jazz and the Minnesota Timberwolves next Tuesday. That's right. Rudy doesn't have to sit out for that one, right? I know he's suspended because of all the flagrants. He has to sit out one game this week.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he'll be in town to wave to the old fans. So the Jazz, Timberwolves next Tuesday. You can win those tickets right now. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-9663. We'll come back. We have a Would You Rather next right here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen, thanks for being with us on the program. As usual, we give those tickets away. We doing it again next hour? We doing it again the hour after that? That's the kind of dedication we have on a Jazz Ticket Tuesday, all right? But tomorrow's Win Ticket Wednesday. Gosh, we're just giving away stuff all the time. Tomorrow, win tickets to see the Skijoring Utah that's coming back to...
Excuse me?
Yes, I did not sneeze. Skijoring. It's a thing. ProSkiJour.com is where you can get the tickets right now, or you can win them all day tomorrow. ProSkiJour.com is the website. Go check it out if you don't know about Skijoring.
Bless you.
You're like us. So win those tickets and find out about it. All right. We just went through this whole thing here, and I want to ask you, would you rather be in the spot from a recruiting standpoint and from a coaching standpoint right now, just the staffs between Utah and BYU, where they sit right now, not with the people that are on their rosters, but like just the coaching staff, everything. Which one would you rather be in on meetings planning for your season next year?
Oh, it's BYU. It's easy.
Why? Wait, why?
The continuity.
A lot of big names coming back.
Roster continuity.
A lot of big names coming back.
Look, it's obvious. You look at what BYU is bringing back. I mean, you're losing Jack Kelly to graduation. He'll be in the NFL.
No, you lost the biggest person out of those two teams, though, in Jay Hill, by far, right? Like that, you should be nervous about that. The defensive side of the ball is scary. I know K-Pop is going to do well.
We trust.
Is that what BYU fans are really saying? Or are they just are they halfway saying it and they believe it? Maybe
Why
halfway?
not?
I'm not saying that Kelly Poppinga is not going to be good at it. I'm saying Jay Hill is a program difference maker. And K-Pop is yet to be seen at that position at BYU. So I'm just saying.
They just landed Kedu Luave in the transfer portal. K-Pop had to recruit him.
I think
they beat out
that's
Michigan
great.
for Kedu Luave.
That's great.
Mountain Ridge star. They're bringing him home.
Now, I'm not saying
That's
I'd rather.
a good get.
I'm not saying
He's an experienced linebacker that's played at the P4 level.
I think the worst of everything. I mean, out of all the people that left that were that joined Kyle Whittingham, I need to preface that losing Kyle Whittingham and your offensive coordinator that was there for 1 year, who knows how to pull the levers on these two cats who are amazing at Utah.
You have new coordinators at Utah. You have several new position coaches.
New head coach.
You've lost your entire starting offensive line. You have lost your All-American defensive end to the transfer portal. You've lost a promising tight end to the transfer portal. You lost your number one top recruit, who you just signed in-state, to the transfer portal. And you lost Smith Snowden, an experienced defensive back, in the transfer portal. Utah has real challenges. They have real personnel challenges. They've got a lot of, whether it's inexperience or new bodies and new people. Now, that could be a great thing. This could all be great for Utah, but we don't know. The certainty is with BYU right now. Yes, Jay Hill is a loss, but Kelly Poppinga comes in, and there's some continuity there. Am I comparing him to Jay Hill right now? Of course not. Kelly would come in here and tell you, yeah, there's some learning curve here. I'm not Jay Hill. I got to get there, but I'm ready to try. And I know this program, and we're going to run a lot of the same things, but I'm going to put my Colton Swan's taking over at Utah, kind of similar deal, so that's positive. Kevin McGibbon knows the state. He's at Utah State. He's recruited Utah forever, and he's had success, and he's been on staffs here, but there's so much new at Utah and so much continuity at BYU. It's BYU for me, and it's easy as to which situation lends itself to more success next season.
Being able to go back to
nobody objectively is going to look at both situations and rank Utah ahead of BYU at the start of next season. Can't do it. That doesn't mean Utah's not going to end up being better.
When's the transfer portal close? The 16th?
17th? Question mark?
Yeah. Primary window. Oh, I got it. Primary window the 2nd through the 16th.
Okay. So it is technically closed on the 17th.
Right. So we're both right.
Semantics.
What is this, a bad marriage? No, I said that, honey.
Look, for you listening, we both know what we're talking about, okay?
Okay, but you didn't understand what I was saying. The 17th technically is the day that it is
but
not
it's still
anymore.
technically open on the 16th. It's closed at midnight when it turns midnight on the 17th.
Yeah. Would you rather fight about the groceries or football? I prefer this type of fighting.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Are you just talking food fight type grocery thing, or does it evolve into that?
I have no idea. I married somebody who doesn't fight at all about anything, and we just don't have any arguments like that. So, got lucky.
Ask her about the transfer portal. Ask her about Kyle Whittingham's departure from Utah. Yeah. It'll get heated. But
she's also smart, and she would roll her eyes and walk. She would turn right around out of the door and go, "Whatever, dude.
Dang it!
Have that conversation with yourself." All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. When we return, going to get to some hockey. The Utah Mammoth tonight taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's a big one right here at Delta Center. This is a big home game. After just getting 1 point against Columbus, everybody wants to see what they're going to do this time around. Stay here. Cole Bagley is going to join us next, our Utah Mammoth insider for KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
The exclusive home of the Utah Mammoth is on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Feeds the point for Sergachev. A shot tipped in and they score! 2-1. Sergachev's shot made it through. Down low, Coyle shoots it off the outside of the post. Bouncing puck, they score! Columbus's power play lurches to life. Werenski up high, diagonally, tipped in, and they score. Columbus wins in overtime. Dmitry Voronkov tips it in past Vitek Vanacek, and it's no luck for Vanacek once again. A great night spoiled by Voronkov's OT winner.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Hour number 2 kicking off. Game night for the Utah Mammoth. Man, it's a big one. Big name coming in, national television. Don't try to tune into it on your local antenna like you've been doing for most of the season like me. This one's going to be on the big networks. You know why? Because the Toronto Maple Leafs come to town, and that's a big one. It's always big when the Maple Leafs come to town. It's always big when you're able to get those big names and, more importantly, get a win over those big name franchises. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are one of those teams that have that big name, and they're not doing that great. And this is one that you could totally get.
They're bad. They've caught fire recently.
I just think that this is a good moment that they could springboard themselves back into feeling good about themselves.
They've won 4 straight, the Maple Leafs have. They're up to 53 points.
Are they in a back-to-back? I want all the advantages. I guess in hockey it doesn't actually matter.
They're the top wild card spot right now.
In the East? All right.
They just – oops. I had my information there. Now it's back. They just beat the Avalanche in Denver.
So
it was in overtime.
Bleh.
It was in overtime.
That's scary.
And that game was that was last night.
Okay, so this is one that you can prove yourselves tonight. And Bear Tourney.
William Nylander scored an overtime goal last night to beat him.
Bear Tourney, the big names for the Utah Mammoth, they all need a big night. And this could be a huge win for this team and a turning point, at least at this point in the season. Joining us on the program right now, courtesy of the folks at Hercules First Federal Credit Union, growing stronger together. He's Cole Bagley, our Utah Mammoth insider for KSL Sports. What's going on, Cole?
How you guys doing?
Oh, we're good. We're just trying to handicap this Toronto Maple Leaf and Utah Mammoth game because I mean the Columbus Blue Jackets game was a head scratcher. I know you have your second goaltender in and Vitek had a good game up until that point, but there were a lot of poor performances in that game that had nothing to do with the goalie for the Utah Mammoth. What do they have to get better just from last game to be able to hang with the Toronto Maple Leafs and get a huge win here at home?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a tough season for the Maple Leafs, but they've kind of started to figure things out over the last 10 games with 8 wins and their only 2 losses are in overtime. And like you guys were talking about before I jumped on here, they're the first team to beat Colorado at home, and I think 17 games. And I think, it was in overtime. So not a regulation win, but still, Colorado has not lost at home for 17 games, which is ridiculous. So, it's a back-to-back. They're probably tired after playing Colorado, but most nights that doesn't mean anything, especially when you got, the likes of Austin Matthews and William Nylander on your team. Those two are just offensive juggernauts who can, hang collectively 5 or 6 points on you on any given night. So a big game, kind of like you were mentioning, this could be, kind of a springboard into the rest of the season for Utah. They've never beat Toronto in their existence. And it's not going to be easy tonight, but what they need to improve on over the last 2 games. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know that Utah really deserved to beat St. Louis the way that they played defensively, but, Karel Vejmelka bailed them out, and, Vanacek was actually really good the other night against Columbus, but, Utah was just pretty lazy in their attempts, especially defensively, as they lost a lot of battles. They turned the puck over in really dangerous areas, and they just were not – they weren't shutting down shooting lanes. They weren't clogging passing lanes either. And so, I think really what tonight comes down to, what the success tonight will come down to is, can Utah have one of those performances that we have seen them, carry out this season where everybody's engaged, everybody's playing, and they're giving 100% effort through all 60 minutes.
Well, Columbus was so good on Sunday, they fired their coach after the game. This league can be pretty brutal, can it? I mean, we see that a lot. You see coaches fired mid-season more in the NHL than maybe some of the other leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I think he lost 4 of 5. And so, I mean, that was his only win on the road trip. And generally in the NHL, you don't fire your coach until you get home. And so
that's nice of them.
Kind of them.
Very nice.
Very thoughtful.
Yeah, so that decision had probably been made previously. And, you know, the writing was on the wall. Good for him to get a win as his last game in charge, but it wasn't enough. And, yeah, they let him go. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I look at other leagues like the NBA and the NFL, and I feel like guys are just always getting fired and positions are always turning over. But, you know, the tough thing with the NHL is, you know, it's such a long season, but if you go through a stretch of, you know, 10 games where you're only winning 2 of those or 1 of those, yeah, it's tough to keep your job. So kind of an interesting, you know, turn of events, but I think it was more so based on, hey, this guy lost, you know, 4 in a row before this one, and you know, the Columbus's season has just kind of been a disaster. So yeah, that probably had been decided before, and unfortunately it came after a win.
Well, when you have such a storied tradition that the Columbus Blue Jackets have of all those Stanley Cup playoff appearances, you got to live up to that hype.
Yeah, that's true.
I keep throwing shade at Columbus. I'm sorry.
I know he really went hard. He really owned that take of.
I picked an NHL team that I don't like, and it's the Columbus Blue Jackets.
It's not just that. I mean, JJ threw out, this is the most irrelevant franchise in all of professional sports, and we were all like, "Geez,
prove me wrong.
We don't even know these guys. Will you settle down a little bit?" I mean, maybe he's right.
There's so much hatred for a team that's really done nothing, but I'm here for it. I mean, you know, it keeps things interesting.
I have my reasons. No.
What do you what do you want to see tonight? I mean, I know you said guys more engaged and things like that, but like who are the people you want to see on the scoring sheet, or the guys that make just such an impact on the game that they're the ones that help get to that spot where they can get a win against Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, generally when Utah's winning hockey games, you know, it's coming down to really 3 or 4 players, I think, offensively. You know, guys like Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, you know, generally when those 2 are combining for multiple goals, Utah's going to win. And then Dylan Guenther, you know, Dylan has kind of gone quiet over the last few games. You know, he had his hat trick. I think he had like 11 points through 10 games, you know, 11 through 10 after Cooley went down with injury. But he's gone relatively quiet over the last 2 or 3. I'm not sure if he has a single point over the last couple of games. And, you know, today he was on a different line. Him and Daniil Boot have switched lines. So Daniil Boot has jumped up into the top 6. He'll be playing with Hayton and Peterka. And then Guenther is now playing with Jack McBain and Michael Carcone. We'll see if that, you know, I asked Turney about that because it's certainly a choice to drop one of your best players out of the top 6 onto what's usually known as a checking line, you know, on that third line with McBain. But, you know, he said they're just looking for a spark. You know, he likes kind of the chemistry between McBain and Guenther. And, you know, they play kind of complementary type games. You know, McBain is a big body that's going to go to the net, and he's going to take pressure off of Guenther and open up space and demand respect in the crease, which should hopefully allow Guenther to shoot the puck more. And you know, then on the other end, you know, Gunther's such a threat from anywhere on the ice that McBain will be able to get towards the net. So we'll see how things go in terms of that. One player that I think needs to start showing a little bit more is JJ Peterka. He hasn't had a bad season by any means, but the fact that Utah traded Josh Doan and Michael Kessler for JJ Peterka, and Josh Doan I think now has more points than Peterka does. And, you know, it's different teams, it's different roles, it's different positions. You know, and I'm not really crazy on Michael Kesselring anyways. I think that was just kind of a added little extra. He's just an okay defenseman. But, you know, if JJ wants to really prove that trade, he needs to start playing a little bit more effectively and you know, engage himself a little bit more. And I think some of that comes down to the line combinations. You know, without Logan Cooley, you know, I think that's kind of taken away from Peterka's game, and without the kid line really getting a lot of time to play together this season, I think Peterka's just struggled to find a real like landing spot on a line. So we'll see what he can do tonight. It's
always nerve-wracking when you see a change like that because you wonder what the egos and fragile as they might be, but they're also like these guys are you know, when you're as highly paid as some of these guys on this team are, like Dylan Guenther, I think people look at that. Is there? I mean, that's running the risk of, and I know Bear's trying to try some different things, but that runs the risk of a guy maybe not playing up to his potential or getting a lot out of him. Which one, based off of what we know about Dylan Guenther, could we see?
I think there's a lot that goes into it. First of all, I would say that NHL players are probably less prima donna than any other league. This isn't the NBA or the NFL where there's some big egos here, and NHL players are more about team, I think, than anywhere else. They just want to win, and they want to help their team win. And I actually, asked Dylan about this today. It's one of those tougher questions, right? It's a little awkward to be like, hey, so you're out of the top 6. How do you feel about that? And it was really positive. He said he loves playing with Jack McBain, and it's all about the team, and he doesn't really see it that way. He said, look, I can play anywhere in the lineup. He said that, the way that I approach the game, I play my game, it doesn't change no matter where I'm at. He just wants to remain focused and help the team win and hopefully score some goals. And so, yeah, I'm sure in the back of his mind a little bit there is, but like I said, I just think hockey players are so much more about a team mindset and wanting to help the team win games that, they're going to try it. And, before too long, Guenther will be back in the top 6. So the team just wants to win, and they need to win hockey games. And tonight's a hockey game that they got to figure out. So, I don't think it's as big of an issue.
How big is this game tonight when you consider who's up next on the schedule and this homestand and the way things have gone so far? What do they have to do tonight? Even if it's not exactly the result they're doing, what do we need to start seeing from this team that gives you a belief that they're moving in the right direction when it comes to getting to the Stanley Cup playoffs and playing at the level that we've seen them play at consistently?
Yeah, I mean, they've got 4 wins over the last 6. So they've been playing relatively well. They're getting incredible, production and performances from Vejmelka in net. But I think the biggest thing is that they have to continue to play consistent hockey. You can't just win 7 games once and then win 3 games once. Like, you need, playoff teams are teams that can rip off, 4 or 5, and then they might drop 1 or 2 or 3, but then they get back, they get back into the swing of things. They win 3 or 4 or 5 again, and that's really what Utah needs to do. Is they need to play with consistent energy. They need to. You can't have games against the worst team in the Eastern Conference and lose in overtime to Columbus. You cannot afford to drop those types of games. Those are the games when you get your schedule, in late summer and you take a look at it, those are the games you circle as gimmies. You look at that one, you go, we're getting 2 points out of that one. And especially for a team that's talking about playoffs, that's, promising to play meaningful hockey again, but hopefully be on the winning side. Like, you got to win the games that are kind of more the gimmies, and not that necessarily there's a lot of those in the NHL, but when it's the most hated team ever by JJ, like you got to get 2 points.
You can't lose to that group.
You never live that down.
Can't.
Yeah.
And it only gets tougher from here. You're playing Toronto, and then the next 3 are tough. You got to play Dallas, which is probably one of the Cup favorites this year. You got to play Seattle, who's been on an absolute tear as of late. You got to play Philly. Like, they're a formidable Eastern Conference opponent. And then you go on the road for a while and you're playing tough teams. You're playing, Tampa Bay, and you're playing Florida and Carolina and, Dallas again. So they've got to figure out a way to stay in these games, to start getting some of these 1-goal games to go their way, to give consistent energy for 60 minutes. Because look, you're not going to play, grade A hockey for 60 minutes. But if you can give 100% for 60 minutes, then you just live with the results. And I think that's been the biggest issue for the Mammoth this year is they're just hit or miss on, their effort for an entire game.
The league right now, of course, is about to enter one of the most exciting moments. And I think this is probably going to be here locally. Certainly for me, it's going to be the most engaged with the international tournament of the Olympics. And how big of a deal that is. The league takes a pause, and they let these guys go to their national teams, which of course is as big as anything that they could play in. What are the anticipations for this Team USA? Speaking of, captain of Team USA, Austin Matthews is going to be in town, right? And so Clayton Keller, of course, is on the roster. But I don't know how to handicap the Team USA where Canada is that superpower now, or others who are in this thing. How is this supposed to shake out the Olympics this year with all these teams?
Well, first of all, I do not want to see Austin Matthews wear a C for my country at the Olympics. I just want to get that out there. He does not deserve that letter on his jersey in a couple weeks. I'd love to see one of the Kachuk brothers wear it. But aside from that,
what did he do to you, Cole? I need some more background here.
It's a similar feeling that JJ has for Columbus. No, I just when I watched him at Four Nations last year, he had like 2 points. And in the biggest game against Canada in the final, he didn't step up. He didn't do anything. And, I take a look at the way that Toronto has, played and performed in the playoffs. He doesn't have that ability to get his guys up, to inspire, those around him, to lift those around him. Like, they were a mess in the playoffs a year ago, and they've been a mess for most of this season. And, I don't know about you, but does that sound like the guy that you want to, describe as Captain America going into the Olympics? Absolutely not. So, I'll get off my soapbox, with that, but,
I love it.
For Team USA, this is probably the best, most talented and deepest roster that the United States has ever, submitted to the Olympics. When you look at how much talent, how many goal scorers, how many of the top players in the NHL who are Americans that are on this team. Clayton Keller told me himself, he said it's gold or it's bust. That is the number one focus is to go into these Olympics, to dominate the hockey, to really put USA hockey back on the map, to continue what they did at World Championships, and, to kind of shock Canada, right? Like, Canada has been, such a powerhouse for so many years. They've won a lot of golds, a lot more recent golds. And now that it's best on best, the United States wants to send a message that, hockey runs through, the land of the free and the home of the brave, right? Like, they're ready to go. And I would anticipate that these guys are going to run through a wall, and they're going to give, their very best. And that's why it meant so much for Clayton Keller to make this team is, he wants to be regarded as not only a captain and an all-star, but, a player for the best American team to ever take the ice at the Olympics. So, yeah, Canada's good. You could argue that this is probably Canada's best Olympic team, at least since 2010 and maybe even 2002. They won golds in both of those tournaments. So this is a prove it opportunity for the Americans. And, like you, I am very, very excited to watch this tournament. I haven't watched Olympic hockey since the last time NHL players played because I just don't care. If they're not in it, then in my mind, it's really not worth watching.
It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for it. We got less than a month until it's all going to happen. And we're here at KSL. We're going to be all over it. Sam Farnsworth is going to be in Italy with Team USA.
With skates on.
With all of your favorite Mammoth players,
yeah,
giving us updates every single day. So he's fired up and pumped for that, and I can't wait for the coverage. But I need to ask you about the most important, the most pressing story involving the Utah Mammoth right now. What's up with the whistling at the arena, and why are the players so mad about it?
Oh, man, that was some fun interactions last week.
That's so weird. It is so weird. No, I've none of us understood what was going on that aren't familiar with it. So help me understand.
Yeah, so like a month ago, a group of fans just started like whistling, and it caught on really fast. And it continued for a few games, and then it stopped. And then last week it got really bad. I don't know if you guys saw the video that I posted last week, but Delta Center sounded like an aviary or like a rainforest. It was crazy. Like probably hundreds of people were whistling. And I don't know if you guys watch much like European soccer, but it kind of sounded like that a little bit, and that's a very common thing in a lot of European.
Those are boos, by the way. Those are not approving whistles at all. So maybe it sounds weird. Maybe it sounds weird for the international players. I don't know.
Yeah, so it got really, really loud against Ottawa. You couldn't even hear yourself think. And in hockey, obviously the officials have their own whistles, but teams, and I've seen Utah do this, the teams use whistles to signal line changes, and Tourney will actually whistle at Karel Vejmelka to come to the bench on delayed penalties, or if they're pulling him to put on an extra attacker. So this was creating issues. This wasn't just like the players were annoyed with it. It was literally disrupting them from doing their jobs. And, it got so bad that, the players decided to speak out on it. And, they made it, they were pretty straightforward. Clayton Keller said, look, it's really annoying and it's very disruptive. And he's like, I don't know if they want to do it before the game or after the game, but just don't do it while we're playing. So, luckily, the message was received. It was, there was far less people doing it in the game after that. And then, against Columbus, I didn't even hear any. So, yeah, just kind of a silly thing that I think a lot of people thought was fun. But at the end of the day, the players don't like it. They don't want it to be part of the hockey culture here in Utah. And I would have to support that. Like, whistling, it became disruptive, right? And if you like that team, if you support that team, then you should probably listen to, what they have to say.
Cole Bagley called HR and got it done for the Utah Mammoth. I can't do my job very well.
We're not going to whistle you off the air.
I know, that's fine. No, we're not. No, we'll never whistle at you, man. We know that'll throw you off. Come on. Tonight's an 8 o'clock puck drop. 7 o'clock is going to be your pregame right here on the KSL Sports Zone. Cole, it's a late one. It's a nationally televised game. It's a big one for this team. We're looking forward to it, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, well, and if you guys are whistling at me, it's probably for different reasons.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Can't do that at work either.
Over the radio wink.
HR violation.
I know. All right, Cole. We'll talk to you later, man. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Cole Bagley, serial interview flirter with JJ. And you can whistle at me anytime, JJ. Come on. That's what you got from him.
I'm going to whistle at the Columbus Blue Jackets.
The whistle go, woo, woo. Remember that guy? Bub Rub?
Oh, yeah.
That's basically the same complaint.
Yeah.
I got these whistles going through the neighborhood with these kids. They're modifying their cars to whistle. Remember that guy? The whistle go, woo, woo. Yeah. That was like my favorite. Viral video of all time. We got to introduce Napolis to that one. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go around the corner. We've got tons that we're still going to bring to you. Halfway there, it's going to be good though. When we come around, we've got Jazz Daily. How the Jazz were able to stun the Cavaliers and what Donovan Mitchell said about Keontae George and this team. Stay here, 97.5 EKSL Sports Zone.
What time is it? Your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Garland trying to bump him back on Keontae. Bounces it down low to Tomlin. Jumping high is Nurkic blocking and shaking his head. No. Here comes Keontae. Finger roll, scoop and a score. Love hands to Cody. Back to Keontae. Angle left three. Oh, he hit it. Wow. Keontae George. Collier on the push far side. High stepping. Kicks to Love. Three ball. Tender Love. Bullets the pass to Collier. He walks back to the three-point line. He fires. He misses. Bailey high rebound. Bullet down low to Love and a right-hand layup. What a play by Ace Bailey. Two-hand rebound coming down through a 3-foot pass to Love who laid it up and in.
You're locked into JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's that time of the day for us. Bring you Jazz Daily, but also get you some Jazz tickets. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday, so let's give some tickets away right now. Call in number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. You get a pair of tickets to see the Jazz. And the Minnesota Timberwolves coming to town. A couple of former Jazz men. What do you have? You got Mike Conley. You got Jinglin' Joe.
Yeah.
You got Rudy. Anybody else?
Well,
did Neil Alexander Walker?
I think he moved on, right?
Yeah. Nikhil Alexander Walker.
I don't think there's any more. I'd have to double check though, because man, they sure like former Jazz players.
Yeah,
up there.
and there's gonna be it'll be a fun one. So win tickets right now. Call number 12, 801-575-ZONE. The Jazz turn around a ridiculous 55-point loss from last weekend. Where's he at?
Oh, I found Johnny Juzang is on their roster.
Oh, look at that.
Told you. I was trying to remember. They have somebody else, and we got it. So sorry.
Is he on a two-way right now? Or?
Oh no, he's
right.
he is on the
Full
roster.
Okay. Jazz Cavs last night. Jazz 13.5-point dogs coming into Cleveland. Why not? The Cavaliers are a better basketball team than they are typically, right?
Should be, yeah. With that talent and with that payroll.
Lowry Markkanen comes back after the 55-point loss. Isn't that a nice one to be able to wash your hands of? Like, I wasn't there for that one. I didn't.
Yeah, won me. I didn't do it.
Hey, he's like, hey, Cody Williams, will you take all my plus-minus numbers, all my minuses? Just while I'm gone, take all of them.
It's like a room of siblings when the parents come in and like the vase is broken and the one kid can just like point to the other and say, "One me."
Yeah, I was in football practice. The Jazz get the win over the Cavs in Cleveland. The 55-point loss is an absolute shock and embarrassing.
Yeah. Beating
the Cavaliers isn't unheard of. Lowry going for 28, Key going for 32, and we talked about how I think Lowry was 28 and 12. Keontae George had 32 points and 9 assists, and the guy just keeps getting better and better every game. Donovan Mitchell had to say this about the rising superstar for the Utah Jazz. Well, I'll get to it when our producer isn't. We got Annapolis answering your phone calls for tickets, so we'll get to that in a second.
Annapolis needs an assistant.
I want to know, though, Keontae George, where is he right now in the rest of the league's mind, do you think? I'm not saying to make an all-star game because Donovan Mitchell thinks that should be a thing. Oh, now we can listen to it. Let's listen to Donovan and his words about Keontae George and the Jazz last night.
I think I really, want to highlight the Jazz. They came in there and just outplayed us. Started with Keontae George, who deserves to be an all-star. A young fella that I know personally, and I'm excited to see his progress just from last year, this year. The coach he works with is a close friend of mine, so to see them continue to take that step it's amazing to see. I'm happy for him. And then Laurie is obviously Laurie, so I got to give them credit. But also we are at fault as well for not coming out ready to go. And, when you let two guys who are talented, especially, and we all know Laurie, he's been an all-star starter, right? He's been here. But Keontae George, who's playing at all-star level, should be an all-star. You let him get going. It's tough.
I always love that. The post-game interviews with the team that loses and the low tone that they use.
Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight Utah, But, hey, kudos to Donovan. He threw out the kudos, right? I mean, Keontae George doesn't impress just people who are watching here in Utah. I think that's the important part. You need guys like Donovan Mitchell to say, who's a multi-time all-star, to be able to say, dude, Keontae George needs to be an all-star. Like he is one. The level that he's playing at. It's all-star level. It's all-star caliber. He goes out, and there are not a lot of guys that are able to stop what he's doing right now. And if they are, he dishes it, and Lowry picks up where he leaves off. So, in my mind, he's dead right. I think you're going to have to still get another year under your belt. The rest of this season, plus a good start to next season, I think that's where you're going to get the attention. And I probably think that if you add a young star, if you draft somebody big, and then people start looking at the Jazz a little bit differently, then they notice Keontae George more. Then they don't just think of Lowry Markkanen as an afterthought. They go, those guys are good, and they got this guy in last year's draft. They're going to be pretty good over the next 2 years. That's at least, I think, what the hope is of Jazz fans across the entire planet.
Well, in order to make all-star games, you usually have to win big.
Yeah.
And you look at Utah Jazz all-star history. Even, Darren Williams had to wait a year or two to get in. Karl Malone was once not voted an all-star starter when he was legit one of the top 5 players in the league.
Sure.
And so there's always going to be this bias or slide or whatever is out there. I think it's less so now than it used to be in the past because I think, a lot of people are more aware. And the nice thing about this all-star situation is when it comes to selecting the reserves, the coaches make that decision. And the coaches are watching closely. And I think that Keontae George has probably won a lot of them over. Now, is it going to be enough to put him over the top and get him? Because this is the top 24 players in the world. And injuries can also be a factor. What players are injured and can't play? So that's something to keep an eye on. But is LeBron James not going to make the All-Star team?
No. Come on.
Well, he's not among the top 20 scorers in the league.
He's not, but he's going to get that fan vote. He's going to be like number 2 in the fan vote.
I mean, is Paulo Banchero not going to make it? You know what I mean? You start going through some of the list of these players and what players are going to make it, who's not. Because Paulo Banchero is 30th in the league in scoring. You would assume that Paulo Banchero would be higher up. To give you some perspective, I'm bringing that up because Keontae George is the 19th best scorer in the league right now.
Yeah.
19th best.
Does he have almost 24?
He is 23.8 right now.
Yeah.
And that's good for 19th in the league. He's right on the heels of Devin Booker.
Who is he? Who's behind him? Like who's 20?
Norman Powell. Then you get into Norman Powell, Jalen Johnson, Pascal Siakam, who's been an All-Star.
Of course.
Julius Randle, Alperen Şengün, who's probably going to be a Western Conference All-Star. Is Keontae George going to get in ahead of Alperen Şengün? Probably not. And so that's why I bring that up, is there's a lot of players, just because they're not in the top 20 in scoring, that are going to be considered for all-star spots in the Western Conference. Jimmy Butler doesn't score as many points as Keontae George. You know what I mean? I'm trying to give you an idea of the quality of player. Cooper Flagg, only 19 points per game. Does Cooper Flagg get an all-star nod ahead of Keontae George right now?
No, I certainly hope not.
Probably, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
just because the name
it's Cooper Flagg, number 1 overall pick, blah, blah, blah. So you get what I'm saying. It's really hard to make an all-star team. Is Amen Thompson not going to make the all-star team? So then you got to start going through that list. It's going to be tough this year. The Jazz need to win more. Denny Avdia is probably going to make it ahead of him in the West. James Harden. So there's a long list. Jamal Murray's looking for his first all-star nod. He averages 25.3 points per game. So you get my point. There's a lot of good players in the league. There's only 24 that can make it, and maybe a couple more because of injuries or players electing not to play, et cetera.
At 28 points a game, Lauri Markkanen is number 11 in the league in scoring right now.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You know what a number is that actually shocks me? Not really. We've seen him getting better at this, but Keontae George is 11th in the league in assists per game at almost 7 per.
Dramatically improved.
Think about how crazy that is. So he's the 19th best scorer, 11th best assists in assists. And his turnovers have dropped so much this year that you're seeing the guy getting so much better at basketball, man. And it's good to see. If you're a Jazz fan, you're excited about this thing.
Yeah, he's a solid 2-to-1 in assist-to-turnover ratio, which is a dramatic shift for him.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, he was such a liability for the first 2 years, of just like.
We questioned whether or not this was going to work.
You didn't even know what you're going to get.
No question now.
Yeah.
He's a star. And I hope he does. You got to win, though. Remember when the Jazz got Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and Mike Conley for the first time? Why? Because they had the best record in the league at that time that year.
Yep.
So you've got to win. The more you win, the more All-Stars you're going to get. And the Jazz probably haven't won enough for Keontae to get the nod. If Lauri Markkanen doesn't get the nod and the Jazz have no All-Stars, there's something wrong there. Lowry's been too good. I don't know what you'd point to if you don't do that. He's played more games than Luka Doncic. So, and Steph Curry. So it's not a games thing. It's not a missing games thing. He deserves to be in. He's top 11 in scoring in the league, and his rebounds are way up there too. Keontae George is on that line where do you deny Jamal Murray his first All-Star bid? Denny Avdia, like I said, with Portland has been awesome. Do you keep Kevin Durant out of the All-Star game? James Harden? Who do you leave out? Devin Booker?
Jeez.
It's just hard. There's just only so many guys that make it. That's why it's such an honor to be named an All-Star and why it's such a big deal and should be celebrated. I hope he does. Keontae, whether he makes it or not, deserves the recognition that he's receiving, and it's been awesome to see, and it's good for the franchise moving forward.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We have a top 10 around the corner. We've got lots to go still on this program. I've got a fun top 10. It's going to be difficult. Get your thinking caps on, everybody. Stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the biggest name.
You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Pardon us while we rock.
Raise up your goblet of rock.
I got a top 10 for you here, JJ. Before I get to it, though, want to mention Hans and Scotty are going to be noon to 3 at Tim Daly Mazda and Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. That's Friday. So join them on Friday, noon to 3, Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy. Got it? Coming up in a little bit, Sly is going to join us. Stevenson Sylvester. All of his coaches are stepping down.
Just means Sly's getting old.
Nobody's safe. Tomlin out.
How about
down.
that? Tomlin and Kyle Whittingham in the same year.
Well, and they
in
both
the same
feel
month.
and they both feel forced out. They both feel like it was
Right.
not them who made the decision.
Right.
Like we all read through, like we see straight through the words that are on the statement on the page. This was a little bit ugly, probably. And my guess is Mike Tomlin is going to go somewhere and be successful again. Shocker.
You know where he's going to be successful?
Baltimore Ravens.
TV.
Oh, dang. Yes, he would. He would. But I feel like those guys can't step away when they're steeped in this too much. They can't step away.
His mentor did.
All right, we'll talk to Sly about it. Get his thoughts on the transfer portal as well. Hey, I got a top 10 here for you. Let's get the timer out. Let's get things going. I have in front of me, for no other reason except for I just thought it was fun, top 10 schools in college football. And I'll kind of I'm not going to qualify it. But I'll be a judge if you get some of these right, and I decide they could be on the list too. The top 10 programs that have birds in the logo. Birds in their logo. You ready?
Sorry. Any sport? What?
No, college football.
Just college football.
Yeah.
Birds in the logo.
I'll say just
in the logo or in just the mascot itself?
So, no. In the logo. And I'll even take secondary logos. And here's the other thing. This has to do with I'm telling you. So Division I football, Division I basketball, Division I.
So basketball's included in this as well.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying, schools in Division I of sports. Let's not make this harder than it needs to be. Annapolis, participate by pressing the button and getting going. On your mark, get set, go.
Louisville Cardinals.
Ding.
Creighton Blue Jays.
Ding.
Illinois State Redbirds.
Ding.
More birds. I need more birds.
I'll give you one.
Baltimore Orioles. I'm just kidding. Oh, man. Rice Owls.
Not in the logo, but.
Kennesaw State.
Ding.
Owls. More birds. Give me more birds. I need more birds. Roadrunners. UTSA.
Ding.
Give me the ding.
Yeah,
give me the
you
ding.
got it. It's got that sharp beak.
Thank
yeah,
you.
He's in there, yeah.
Thank you. Power 4 teams. Is there more Power 4 teams?
Yes, there are.
Gosh dang, which ones?
The ones you're going to get the most pissed about?
I mean, there's the Big 10 teams. I'm going through Big 10 in my head. I'm going Big 12.
Iowa.
Cyclones.
The Iowa Hawkeyes and the
Iowa State Cyclones. Iowa Hawkeyes.
Ding.
Kansas
Ding.
Jayhawks. Am I missing any more obvious ones? Probably.
One
which
Power 4
obvious
program
one?
still. One
Power 4
program.
left.
But it is not obvious.
It's not Purdue.
Nah. Ding.
It's not obvious, huh?
Let me see here. So Eastern Michigan, we would have accepted.
Oh.
Georgia Southern, we would have accepted.
Okay.
Don't give me that look. These teams, by the way, Georgia, the Eastern Michigan Eagles. What am I supposed to tell you? Oh, what did you think it was?
He's got his directional Michigan schools mixed up. It's
Eastern
okay. It happens
Michigan,
to everybody.
You thought they were the Broncos?
Annapolis, don't apologize.
Shame on you.
It happens to everybody.
Shame on you.
Thought it was the Chippewas.
Oh, and Chippewas, Broncos.
Chippewa sounds like a bird.
Yeah. Georgia Southern, the Eagles. Louisville, you got.
Yeah.
Kansas, you got. Iowa, you got, finally.
Yeah, jeez.
Oh, I got a couple, actually, that you're going to get mad about. Power 4 program, South Carolina.
Oh, the Gamecocks. How did I miss the Gamecocks?
Boston College.
BC, the Eagles.
Also on the list.
Is that in the logo?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. You're
it's
right.
like got that. It's more of a honk.
What sound does an eagle make?
Ball State, we would have also accepted, and we would have also taken the Coastal Carolina.
Oh, the Chanticleers. That would have been a good one to get.
Chanticleer.
Did all right, but I'm disappointed that.
You have a new bottle of the Chanticleer from '81.
Disappointed that I missed the Gamecocks.
All right.
Gosh dang.
Family program. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We got more around the corner. Sly's going to join us next. Stay here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Sad times to watch coaches have to walk away. Gosh. What are you in the 5th ward? Could we dance?
This got awkward.
It's cool.
Don't dance too close.
What junior high do you go to? The reason this music is being played, it's appropriate because both coaches that he was last coached by in his professional and collegiate career have now stepped down from their roles within 2 months of each other. Within a month of each other. Coincidence? I think not. The only thing that really ties them together is Sly Sylvester. What did he do wrong along the way?
I don't know, man. I guess what did he do right? Because Sly's been out of the league how many years now, and both his guys were still coaching.
Yeah, they were good for a long time.
When you consider how many coaches this cycle have lost their jobs.
Oh, it's crazy.
For Mike Tomlin to survive almost 20 years.
Well, and he wasn't fired. He stepped down.
This feels just like Kyle Whittingham.
I'm going to read you the Art Rooney II, statement in a moment here. First, we're going to kick off the hour here. And we're going to get going with Sly, and we're going to make sure that we get you all dialed in. Because I know we're going to get him on the horn here, but let's kick off the hour with the cut here. Top of the show, top of the program. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the program brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. It's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement, TrajanWealth.com. All right, JJ. Mike Tomlin has stepped down. And not only is he not going to be coaching in Pittsburgh, and not only are they going to have to fill a massive void for a guy who brought them a championship, for a guy who is tied for second all-time in the NFL for the most seasons in a row of not having a losing season. That's pretty darn good.
Wow.
The thing that put him, the thing that got him to step down, was of course his 7th playoff loss in a row, and the city can't abide, and the Rooney family can't abide. So, in the statement made by Art Rooney II, it was, I met with Coach Tomlin today, and he made it known to me that he would like to step down from his position as the head coach at Pittsburgh. I feel like that did not happen. I feel like it was more like hey, we don't want you to get fired. That's not how Mike Tomlin leads this organization. You've been too much to us, but we've got to move on. And so, if you announce your resignation that you're stepping down, it's all good. And then he's going to go over and coach the Baltimore Ravens, and John Harbaugh is going to go over and coach the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Coach swap sounds like a reality TV show.
Hey, that would be fun, actually. Actually, both teams would actually still do very well.
Yeah.
Sly Sylvester joining us on the program right now. What do you think about those thoughts, JJ? Sly, Mike Tomlin going to coach at the Ravens? Come on now.
Oh, man, are we in an alternate dimension or like what? What the heck is going on? I have no idea. It's a surprise every day. Like you can't even draw this up, honestly. If you're doing a screenplay or whatever, like the drama that's going on around football, college, pros, even high school football, it is just, you can't even script this. This is something new every day. And if you're not on your toes and watching the ESPN ticker, I don't know what you're doing.
Well, Mike Tomlin, obviously somebody you got to know pretty well, and you were a part of that legacy that he had in Pittsburgh. Can you just tell us what he means to that city and how difficult it is to last 19 years in that position in the National Football League and what he's accomplished?
Well, even more than his 19 years there, you just got to look at Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh has had 3 coaches for what? For how long?
50 years.
55 years, 50-plus years?
It's crazy.
Like, that is I don't know if there's ever an organization that has a statistic like that, right? I mean, Penn State was the longest before Joe Paterno was there, but, like, it's just crazy. And that's just what Pittsburgh is. That's why, like, if people were to tell me that they would fire Tomlin, I'm just like, nah, they won't do it. They don't have that personality to do that for the guy in charge. No, for players nowadays, it's different. But honestly, it's more telling to what society is today and what, the landscape of football is in general, of how it is, right? It's just, you need a fresh face. You need what it is. And even guys that are fully capable. I mean, not having a losing season in 19 straight years is an amazing feat, right? You've had those. Even Coach Whittingham, 21 years at Utah, right? He's had a couple losing seasons. And so out of 16, 17 game seasons, and you've never had a losing season, that is impeccable, right? And Mike Tomlin was a young coach when he was doing it. I believe he was the youngest coach to win the Super Bowl at the time when he won in 2008. But it's absolutely incredible what he's done. He still got a lot left in the tank, and I'm sure he's going to keep coaching. He could even go – I cannot wait for the Tomlinisms. That was one thing that I absolutely loved about going to team meetings is what new word or new nuance am I going to learn today about what? And so exciting to see where his career takes him, whether he wants to get into media, because he's definitely worth it. He's such a great interview. All the interviews that he does is absolutely terrific. But being on the other side of the microphone is going to be absolutely awesome for him if that's the route he takes. But I definitely think that he's got more years coaching. But for the city of Pittsburgh to know only one guy, I know some fans that are used to that, right? Utah fans are used to one guy being in charge, and you never have to worry about that. And I've gotten tons of texts here in the last couple of days talking about, like, I just don't know what it's going to be like to not see Tomlin as the head coach, right? That is just what you came to know, love. And as far as the disconnect and how they came to this conclusion, how awkward is the number 19? Right? Like, if somebody wants to, like, step down, Coach Whittingham, Tomlin,
seriously,
isn't it, don't you like whole numbers? I'm like 20. 20 sounds right.
19 seems like there's a little bit of meat left on that bone, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why it's just weird. But, when the public starts talking and doing all of this, there's a lot more media behind, or marketing and stuff behind decisions that, obviously aren't traditionally used in their organization stuff. And so that's how important narratives are. So people who spread false narratives and all that, those things are taken into account when decisions are being made. And it was possibly just one of those things where it's just like, all right, we've tried this since 2016. You haven't even gotten close to a divisional or a conference championship. And so we just need a fresh voice, a fresh thing. We need to renew it. Even though I don't agree with it, I think Tomlin is a Steelers guy through and through from what they want. It is what it is, and that's just where we are today with the landscape of football.
Sly, you saw some of the movement on the Utah side of things today, and you've got Smith Snowden heading to Michigan. You've got Devon Dampier officially saying he's going to run it back. And when you see that both Devon Dampier and Byrd Ficklin are signed up, and you see what this team is trying to build, and I can't imagine it going better you got to have a quarterback. And in Utah's case, they legitimately have two quarterbacks who will beat you in different ways and are very, very good, and they immediately become one of the best quarterback rooms in the country and stay that way.
Yeah, I mean, more importantly, Smith Snowden was obvious. I knew that was going to happen. One, Smith Snowden is a terrific talent, and honestly, he plays the hardest position on the football field. Everybody can say quarterback, everybody can say left tackle or center or whatever. The nickelback, cornerback position, being on an island, is the hardest position in football. I don't care who you are. If you played football and ask football players, they know that nickel position is so hard. You guard the most athletic people, the fastest people, and oftentimes you are left by yourself. And if you don't make it happen, you are ridiculed, and if you do make it happen, you did your job. And so Smith Snowden is a terrific talent, and I know there's a lot of teams across the country that wanted him. So wherever he was going to land, which ultimately being with a guy that being in the system, this is what I'm saying. Even when Keanu Tonabasa went to BYU, it's like you're going in the portal. the best thing to do is go to a system that you know. That way there's no, like, real learning curve. It's like, I know this already. I'm just doing it. Going to Jay Hill's defense, it's the exact same defense. JJ, we break it down on Sunday. I was like, I know this defense, even though I didn't play for BYU. And so Smith Snowden go in there, the way that they'll use him, I bet you anything, Smith Snowden will be an All-American, first unanimous All-American by the end of 2026. I guarantee that. And just with the resources and whatever, he's that good. And I just think that he's been in really hard positions here at Utah. And so, but outside of that, whatever, he's gone. Now we start worried about him. It's Devon Dampier, Bird, Ficklin, and I go straight to Kevin McGivern. What are you going to do, buddy? You got to be able to – I think he's going to be under so much pressure to do better than what Coach Beck did last year. Coach Beck didn't know we had Bird, Ficklin, and Devon Dampier, right? But now Kevin McGivern is going into this year knowing you have two quarterbacks, knowing that the opponent knows you have two quarterbacks, knowing that those plays that you run last year, you cannot do that again and think you're going to have continued success. So how do you utilize this? How do you utilize the egos of, two paid quarterbacks, right? Normally you got a quarterback who's paid, he's in there, and he's feeling pressure being the guy. But now you got a guy who's on the roster who's also paid, but he's the backup. And so he's going to be like, okay, let me show some stuff. And so controlling those egos is what I think is going to be hard for Utah. But, it's something that, is the name of the game, so you got to do it. But I think the quarterback position, we know how important that is from the down years that we had without a quarterback, how important that is. And to know that we have two capable quarterbacks is absolutely terrific, man. So Kevin McGivern's got his work cut out for him and can't wait to see what he does.
Celeste Moa was a 4-star recruit in state, a legacy recruit. His dad, Ben Moa, played at Utah. And he had already signed with Utah, registered for classes, and now he's in the transfer portal.
He took like 2 quizzes, I heard already, too, in some of those classes.
He went to work early.
A pop quiz on the first day, isn't there?
Usually is. I have no idea if he even looked at his syllabus. I don't know. But I know he's headed to Michigan. So I wanted to get your reaction to that because we've never seen something like that. And how devastating is it for Utah to have you're basically your highest rated recruit of this class out the door, like right after class starts. It's just crazy that somebody who just signed, has not played a game or even practiced for you, is already in the transfer portal.
Yeah, it more gives it more to my point and more to my new reasonings for what, and this is what I texted you guys earlier. College football needs to reclassify itself. Stop talking about this stupid student athlete deal. And like, I hate it because I was a student athlete. I took my school seriously. I got my degree. I even changed my major after my freshman years and still double majored and graduated. I took my schooling seriously. These guys do not. I don't even know if these guys go to class. All their classes are online, and shoot, the money that these guys are making, I could pay another kid to take my class for me if I wanted to. But hey, let's talk reality. Like, these kids is like, it's crazy, but let's stop calling them that and like actually put, like, college football is so wild right now. There's no restriction, no criteria. It is the most blasphemous organization that is just going on out there. And it's just like, nobody knows what's going on. And we're sitting here questioning each other every single day. That's stupid, but it's asinine, honestly. But like, you know what? The NCAA is making money. They making money off of chaos. Who cares? And so that's what is so sad about all of this. But I think they need to reclassify this. It's not about being a student athlete. This guy was a high school guy and doing all of this. All these honor roll, this and that. I'm like, I got to do my investigation on all this stuff, because I was like, it really doesn't matter, because everything right now is being controlled by this NIL dollars. Right, J.J. Buchanan spent 7 months all in here, and he's already in the portal onto a new school. I remember when we transferred back, and this is me back in the day, Uncle Rico style here, how hard it was to academically get your stuff transferred to another school. Is that not an issue anymore? Like, does this school not take the same credits, not qualify the same stuff? Like, does anybody care about that?
No.
So I'm just thinking, like, let's just make this a professional organization. These kids are getting paid, and that's all anybody cares about anyway. Take the student athlete off of these guys. These guys are semi-pros. They're getting paid like it can be classify them like that and now contract them, right? If you're able to release these guys and next you know that locker is and throughout the year this guy isn't putting up, let me save money, right? A couple years ago we had a receiver who's making, mid six figures, right? Mid six figures. Didn't have a statistic, right? Why are we still paying him? Release him. He's not doing what he's supposed to do or what we expected. These guys need to have that type of pressure on them and stop giving their – here's the thing is, when is the business kicking in, right? The universities are giving out free scholarships. Everybody out here listening that went to college and still paying back student loans, these kids have free scholarships and scholarship checks on top of their NIL dollars. That is a lot of freaking money, right? But the university is continuing to pay these kids scholarship stuff. Like, when is the university getting their ROI and who are they getting their money from, right? And so I'm just like, the business is going to kick in. And I'm telling you, these PE firms are coming in.
Yeah.
And, hey, it's all going to course correct. Believe that.
Sly, when you see what has been moved around in the transfer portal, and even though the transfer portal closes in 2 days or 3 days or whatever it is, I still feel like, you could get the rug ripped out from under you on some of these guys. And the actual down to business X's and O's type of stuff, how good will Utah be next year with this group of coaches and coordinators and a brand new head coach? How good can Utah be?
I think Utah's going to be great. I think we're going to be fine. And it is more so what I heard from that press conference with Morgan Scalley. And it's what everybody needs to understand. Football is not the same. It's not the same as it used to be when I played or what we as fans remember it from the day. The morals, the loyalty, it's all out of the door. So if you get that premise out of your head and understand what college football is now, college football is and this is what sucks about it, is it takes away from the evolution of the game, the game being refined, right? I saw a meme where Tom Brady was talking about, on Sunday night, he was talking about how to throw a football in the wind, and everybody's like, this guy is sick, right? And I don't know if we'll ever see a guy that has this much love for the game and does all the stuff like that. And it's true. The old school football, this is why Mike Tomlin is out, right? Old school football is just not here anymore. Developing guys, you're not going to have time to develop guys. You are trying to handle egos at 17 years old. There's no, where are these kids learning to fight through something, fight through adversity where it's not always cake, right? And so this is just a new day and age. And so the business is going to have to take it, meaning the coaches. That means that you have to put up every single year. It's not I'll be there in 2 years, I'll be there in 3 years. It's right now, right? And that is the attitude you have to take to these kids when you're recruiting them. It's 6 months. Hey, we're going to do this year, and we'd love to have you aboard. If you're aboard, it's great. And Morgan Scalley's like, look, I'm focusing on guys that want to be here. Celeste Moa didn't want to be here. He didn't want to be here. Don Saunders didn't want to be here. J.J. Buchanan didn't want to be here, right? Money aside or whatever, there's going to be athletes here. There's Appalachian State that beats Michigan. There's Utah's that beat Alabama's. There's all kinds of stuff. It's about the team. And if the team is good enough, the team can put together a great game plan and beat anybody in the country. And that is exactly what's going to happen here. And that's what I think Morgan Scalley is focused on. We have some money that we're putting into it. And if it's not enough for guys, it's not the same guys that you want to go to battle with anyway. And that's what Morgan Scalley is fixated on, is guys that want to go to battle each and every week. And I absolutely love that. And so that's just what the name of this game is, and what everybody needs to understand is it's not the old football we used to know, where we used to devote and develop and think that guys have loyalty and morals anymore. It's not that at all. And sooner as everybody is understanding that, the faster we can press on and have success.
You know, you look at Indiana and what they've done, Sly, and it's exactly to your point. Yes, they're in the Big Ten. Yes, they have some resources and money at the P4 level. But they only have 4 and 5-star guys, I believe. And they're absolutely crushing teams with rosters loaded with those, Alabama and Oregon. If you do things the right way and you put things together and you have the right culture, you can win big. And you look at Utah, and you mentioned that with Utah, Is there anything that's happened since the departure of Kyle Whittingham that's just too much to overcome? Because I want you to speak to some Utah fans right now that it's just one hit at a time, right? The Celeste Moa news comes. Now it's Smith Snowden. These top-level guys have left Utah to go to Michigan. They've lost all these coaches. Is there anything that's happened to Utah in the last month that's too much to overcome?
No, not at all. I don't think so at all. That's why I'm kind of shrugging, and I'm less like these coaches. These coaches are probably expecting this more than I am. And so, like, when Celeste Moa jumps in, when John Henry Daly jumps in, Smith Snowden jumps in, when these guys jump in, it's kind of like, oh, they jumped in, that sucks. And then I was like, all right, who else we got? What's the new recruit? Who else can we develop? And I think that Utah is more they put more investment into the formula than they are these guys, right? And that's, again, when we're talking about listening to Morgan Scalley's press conference, he's talking about where was Jonah Leia, 2 years ago, right, versus what you saw him this year. It's the development. It's what we're able to put into these guys. We can make outstanding football players if they buy in, right? And hopefully that these guys buy in by the time that they are in this program. And that's why I think the biggest thing that has actually helped the University of Utah and most of these universities is the new transfer portal windows, right? It's right now in January. Get all the scrum out. Everybody get in, right? If we're going on 1-year contracts, cool. Be here for a whole year, right? Just 6-7 months is not good enough. But if I can get you at the end of January all the way to the next January, that's 11 and a half months that I got you. That is way better than 6 months, right? And so I think that's the best thing that could have happened for this transfer portal crap. And so hopefully that there's no more movement, but I doubt that. But I think that's great. So as soon as we know exactly who this roster is, we can move forward, and that's where these conversations go instead of worrying about guys like Teo Johnson signing with UCLA and Smith Snowden and all these other guys who decided to leave this program. And so just looking to push forward. I don't think Utah can't overcome anything. I think that they've invested the right way into recruiting guys that want to be here and even communicating with guys that want to be here. I think Michigan is just a shiny little coin that's out there that everybody's chasing, and after this first year of transition, that won't be a thing anymore. Coach Whittingham's voice won't be on Celeste Moa, won't be on Smith Snowden, won't be on all these other guys. Man, it'll be all Morgan Scalley's plan, and that's what we need to move forward with.
Well, sorry, Sly. JJ and I were slow dancing for a minute.
It's been that kind of a day.
We pulled this up just for you, by the way.
Where's my lighter at?
There's some good times. There's some good times that you remember. All right, before I get you out here, though, while we're listening to this sappy music, who's more intimidating, Kyle or Tomlin?
Intimidating?
Yeah.
Honestly, they are the exact same. I think that's why I fit into both organizations. They are the exact same. They expect the best out of you. What I love is they put the responsibility on you, right? As far as if you want to be good, you want to be here, man, you have to put in the work. They give you the tools, they give you the stuff, and they shoot you straight. And I love the honesty from both of those guys. And so for me, they are so similar, I can't really say. Like, I love the focus and determination and it's business from both of those guys, man. And they show you exactly how it's supposed to be, right? And I think that's the most important part from these 17 to 18-year-olds. They don't know exactly how it's supposed to be. They don't know exactly how they're supposed to act after a loss, how they're supposed to act, when you win, or how to keep going, right? It's a forever moving goalpost, right? These 17, 18-year-old kids don't really know how to do that. The leader is supposed to show you how to do that, and that's Coach Whittingham. That's Mike Tomlin. He's showing you that success keeps going. If you want to get to this point, it don't stop. You shake this off, you celebrate for tonight, and then we got to get back on it. They show you how to do that, and it's more than just telling you, it's showing you, and I think that those guys are the ultimate leader, and that's why I really can't say that there's a difference between those two because their philosophies are so similar.
Stevenson, Sylvester, Sly, thanks for hanging out with us, man, as usual, and we'll chat with you soon, I'm sure. Thanks for being with us today. Thanks for putting up with our Boys to Men, too.
Well, what? Thanks for putting up with my text messages during games. I'm sorry, guys.
I love it. Sly, thanks, man. We'll talk to you again.
Thanks, Sly.
All right.
There you go, Stevenson, Sylvester. That is quite the coaching journey.
And I'm glad you asked him that question, because you think about it now, it's like that tracks. Like, they do have a lot of similarities and seem to handle their business the same way.
That's a
all
reputation
business.
For both of them,
yeah.
Let's get a break. We'll come back. We've got more around the corner, and when we return, we've got some NFL Blitz. Speaking of the NFL, stay here at 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All the latest news and notes from the league and the locals in the NFL. JJ and Alex bring you the NFL Blitz on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. So it's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday, and it's our final time for us to be able to give some Jazz tickets to you right now. Jazz versus the Minnesota Timberwolves coming to town next week. Your chance to win those tickets right now, all you have to do is be calling number 12, 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE, 801-575-9663. Get yourself a pair of tickets to see the Jazz and the Timberwolves, as my kids say. The Timberwolves? Yeah, oh yeah.
Woof, woof.
JJ, what are you, that insurance commercial? Remember that guy starts barking at the boss? I only bring that up.
Fan.
I only bring that up because it plays 77,000 times during every game.
Yeah.
Okay. That and Sky Rizzy, I'll never participate in.
Sky Rizzy.
All right. Still no idea what it does.
I took some Giardians and I broke out into a musical. It was amazing. I was just trying to lower my A1C.
Yeah. Did you ask your doctor if it was for you? All right.
Turned out it certainly was.
Good for you. Hey.
What a ride.
I've got some NFL stuff for you here. Of course, the big news, Mike Tomlin stepping down. But the best firing of the day was because you asked and the Eagles listened. And by I say you, I mean this kid interviewed on the streets in Philadelphia after or outside of Acrisure Stadium. When they were able to run this kid down, he gave up some golden dadgum nuggets of sound bites. As only a Philadelphia kid could do, here's what he said about Kevin Patullo.
Yes, this was a huge letdown. This was my Christmas present, and I got a loss. I want A.J. Brown packing his bags, and I want him somewhere else that is not here. I love you, A.J., but, you can't make those drops in that game. And I also want Kevin Patullo flipping burgers at, the local McDonald's or something. I don't care.
Why do you say that?
Whenever he's an offensive coordinator, it's like he's flipping burgers. One side, he's cooking. One half, he's cooking. And the other half is completely raw.
Get this kid an analyst job. I just loved it. He sounded like he was at an open mic.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is my Christmas present. Hey! And I want AJ, I love you. Kid, drop those balls in this situation. And Kevin Patullo, I want him flipping burgers at McDonald's. I mean, classic. And the lady's like, well, I need a follow-up. Why do you need to fire Kevin Patullo? And then he continues with the burger metaphor.
Yeah,
I love
good.
it. This kid's the best. All right,
that kid's so Jersey.
Oh, but by the way, Kevin Patullo fired today.
Yeah. I guess
Sorry.
I guess Howie Roseman listened, or Sirianni listened. They heard the kid. It's like, you're right. This second half was kind of raw. Got to make a change.
What was interesting was this Philadelphia fan base is already difficult to please. But this is the most successful stretch that they've had ever.
Of sustained greatness?
Yes. And they're this close to firing every coach every year, it seems like, if they're not winning the Super Bowl. And so there you go.
They fired Andy Reid.
Yep. Not good enough.
They fired Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough town.
Speaking of firings, other coaches who are saving their butts by firing their coordinators, although I don't think his job was ever in jeopardy right now, but the Chargers fire their offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, and their offensive line coach, Mike Devlin. Devlin. I'll tell you what's interesting about that game, because it was 3 points, right, that they muscled.
Yeah, it was bad.
They're supposed to be the defensive team that shows up. That was the only way they were going to be able to stick around in that game. And the defense played pretty darn well.
Yeah, they did. 5 sacks.
But to go 3 points with Justin Herbert as your quarterback, and I know he's a little bit dinged up.
Don't care.
But he was getting killed in that backfield.
It was bad.
So it makes sense that the offensive line coach gets fired.
Did you know Greg Roman? So did you know Jim Harbaugh's never coached a game in the NFL without Greg Roman as his OC?
Wow. This
Both
is going to be
the
new territory.
49ers and now at the Chargers.
Wow. This is going to be new territory for him.
Yeah.
Weird. Fred Warner says he could make a possible return to the NFC title game. Don't you want to pump the brakes on that
Insane. No, why?
I get so nervous about
it's
these
not like
guys.
you have to save your red shirt. What do we work? Get out there and play. If you can play, go play.
JJ, he played in his 8th game already this year.
He's ineligible.
No,
Fred
I'm just
Warner
saying,
lost a year of eligibility.
I'm saying don't try to get back early. I mean, that means that they'd have to win this weekend, obviously. They win this weekend, they go to the NFC Championship game. So I get it.
He's not recovering from an ACL.
Oh, what was it?
He broke his ankle.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an ACL.
It's a bone thing. He's healed up.
But aren't those electric lines burning up the joints of those players there in San Francisco?
Maybe.
I got some of those 49ers bones. They're brittle.
Something's in the water there because, man, they've had a lot of injuries.
Oh, it's in the water now? See, I just heard it was in the air. That's my favorite. The magical vapors of electromagnets floating through the air. It sounds like people when they talked about electricity when it was first invented. Oh, I don't want to be around one of those lights. I don't want to breathe in the ghost vapors from those magical lights. They did. They thought vapors? That. They thought that freaking lights gave off. And apparently they do. They'll tear your ACL if you're around them too long.
The only thing George Kittle was inhaling Sunday was tequila.
Pre-game or post?
Oh, did you hear the story? The owner.
No. Oh, did they do shots before the game?
No, the owner was the first to go down and see him and
offered him some Don
Kittle had a request. He wanted some tequila.
Yeah, some Patron.
He brought some of his best. So the bottle was all gone when they left the locker room.
Boss, bust out the Silver Reserve.
Yeah.
I'm ready. By the way, we were talking about this, but the Ravens owner actually brought up the idea because one of the during his press conference when he was addressing kind of what the team was going to do during their search for and this is one of those kind of face first owners, Steve Bisciotti. He's a guy who likes to get in front of the mic. He likes to get in front and kind of make some comments about his team and blah blah blah. And he gets up there, and during the press conference is when Mike Tomlin stepped down, and a Baltimore reporter said, "Hey, he's stepping down." They're like, "Is that official?" And he goes, "Holy blank." And he goes, "Would he be a candidate for this?" And he's like, "Absolutely. Only if John goes and coaches the Steelers." And I think that would be an amazing.
Let's do it.
I know.
Here's the problem, though.
What?
Tomlin technically did not get fired.
Ooh.
He stepped down. Therefore, you would have to trade for him. The Steelers still own his rights.
That's weird, man.
Yep. They did not fire him.
Yeah, but you know what? I think they would. I think they'd be willing to negotiate. Considering how the now, I don't think
Tomlin's going to be on CBS.
I don't think
year.
I don't think they would negotiate with somebody in their division. But like if he's picked up and he starts coaching like who's going to lose their job? The Cardinals guy? Did he lose his gig?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You think
I don't even know who his name is.
Mike Tomlin's going to coach that garbage franchise?
I'm going to bring toughness to the Valley.
Mike Tomlin ain't going to coach no poverty franchise. Forget about it. He's only 53, by the way.
I know. It's crazy.
He's not washed.
He's 20 years younger than Bill Belichick.
He's
and he's only 15 years younger or older than Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Wow. He's coached almost 20 years as a head coach. He's the same age as Andy Reid when he got fired in Philly.
It all comes full circle.
Wow.
All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Want to remind you, though. Oh, no, we don't have anything to remind you of. That's next. We'll come back. We'll do some best and worst, and we'll lock up the hour there. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Wrapping up the hour with our picks for the best and worst moments on today's show. As JJ and Alex want to hear your best and worst of the day.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hans and Scotty on Thursday are going to be at RGS Exteriors. Go check it out. 4235 Farm Road in West Jordan. Noon to 3. Join them right there. All right, so we got a best and worst here for you. We talked a lot about the moving around of the transfer portal, but we made mention for 1 second about BYU landing the number 1 linebacker in the transfer portal from Cal. Coming back home, JJ, describe what the Cougs get with Uluave coming in with only 1 year of eligibility left. He comes in as a first-team All-ACC linebacker.
Playmaker at linebacker, veteran, knows how to play, proven commodity, and he's a Utah kid. He played at Mountain Ridge High School. And so this is a kid that wants to be at BYU, has probably dreamed of that opportunity. It didn't work out right out of high school, but now has the opportunity to come back here, and I think he's a great replacement for Jack Kelly. I think he can have a similar impact.
Is his skill set that direction too? Like they're about the same size, by the way.
Yeah, special teams. He makes special teams plays. Very similar.
Flies around.
Well,
sneaky
he's going to
speed,
fly around,
kind of
make
stuff.
plays. Yes, he's going to bring that kind of energy at the linebacker position.
Isaiah Glasgow needs that yin to his yang.
Oh,
man.
that's exactly what it's going to be. This is a great pickup for BYU. Probably the most important they've had in the portal so far.
You know, it's a great pickup for you. If you want to go catch the Miami and Indiana game, average ticket prices are now at $5,800. They've gone up $300 since we started the show. I'm not kidding.
Who do I write the checkouts?
Just don't misspell it. It's Fernando Mendoza. So Notre Dame and Ohio State last year, average ticket prices got to $2,700. Michigan, Washington, just shy of $2,000.
That's insane.
TCU, Georgia, $1,292, just short of $1,300. Georgia and Alabama. You see where I'm going? This is going a different direction. Not even $1,100.
But this is college sports, folks. This is amateur athletics.
It's not just but I will say too, like it's not just like this is an insane price, and unfortunately, you're getting insane prices in the NBA, insane prices in the NHL, insane prices with all of the things you want to attend. You want to go an F1 race? You're going to get you're going to get the FU instead of the F1. World Cup out. See what I'm saying? This is all the new version of all the sports. And the NFL
even at the stadium built on the grave.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's not a good story. Oof.
No time for that.
I don't want to make time for it ever, to be honest, but there we are. Yeah, so $5,800, but the biggest deal is $800 for you to park. $800 for you to park.
$800 for parking
at Hard Rock Stadium. I would just drive my car straight into the beach and just go, you can have it. I'm walking.
You're better off renting a plane to like drop you off with a parachute and try to land in the parking lot on your feet.
That's exactly right. You should just go in and dive bomb the place with your parachute and go, I couldn't afford the freaking parking, man.
How are you? $800? Give me a break.
All right.
Can't even pay your mortgage just so you can park at the game.
Well, imagine if you got tickets to the Peach Bowl and then you went to this game.
Oh,
sorry. Kids aren't going to college.
I'm sorry, Indiana fans.
Yeah. All right. We'll take the break here and we'll come back around the corner, getting you ready for the Utah Mammoth coming up at the 7 o'clock hour. So stay here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.